Hi, I'm Susanne Madsen, and in this short video I'm going to share with you one of the biggest mistakes I see project managers make and how you can avoid making that very same mistake. Many of the project managers I work with and interface with are very focused on tasks and events and processes. They focus on planning and estimation and doing risk and issues log, and all of those activities are very, very important as a project manager. In fact, they're the things we're being taught when we study project management. But what goes wrong is when we focus on these tasks all the time. A large part of a project is actually not dependent on task management. It has to do with the people on the projects. So we have our team members, of course. The team is the biggest asset on the project, and we have our stakeholders. And when we build relationships of trust, which are required to lead a successful project, we cannot simply wear our task management hat. And that's really what I'm here to share with you. I'm not advocating that you throw away all your good task management, but I am telling you that you need to mix it in with a good proportion of leadership skills and people management skills in order to succeed. And how do you do that? Well, it's quite simple, although it may not be so easy. What it requires is that you set up one-on-one meetings, both with your team members and with your stakeholders. With your team members, you need to liaise with them at a level which is not just related to the tasks they're doing in order to complete the project plan. You need to actually spend time with them a little bit away from the project to really understand what makes each individual tick, or at least the most important team members on your project, or your team leaders, depending on the size of your project. Find out what they're all about. Find out what they enjoy doing. Find out what their strengths are. Because when you know those things, you're much more likely to motivate them and actually inspire them to contribute to the project. And that's where leadership begins. It is not by wearing your task management hat and simply telling people what to do. And likewise with your stakeholders and your clients. They can make or break a project. They're the ones who pay the bills. They're the ones who decide what you are actually developing on your project. When you develop relationships of trust with them, you're much more likely to have a successful outcome. You're much more likely to develop what your stakeholders need rather than simply what they want. And you are more likely to avoid interpersonal conflict on your project. So spend time with your key stakeholders away from the normal project meetings, really understanding what they're all about, how they want you to communicate to them, what they worry about, what they see the success factors being of the project. So my challenge to you right now, and the questions I'm going to ask you, is simply, how much of your time on a weekly or daily basis do you spend wearing this task management hat as opposed to the leadership and people management hat? And how can you start to build stronger relationships with your team members and your stakeholders by scheduling one-on-one meetings, or at least by making sure that you get that face time with your stakeholders and your team members outside of the normal project activities. I see many project managers liking to hide behind their desk. They send emails as opposed to picking up the phone or seeing people in person. And that's really what I'm encouraging you to get away from. So please ask yourselves, what can you do to spend more time focusing on people and implementing some leadership activities into your otherwise excellent project management work?